Look closely at these people. They are young students, parents, working people, university professors, and retired seniors. According to the police and security services in Canada, they are referred to as multi-issued extremists. Today they are lining up for hours to receive a $647 ticket for having participated in a non-violent march on May 1st, 2013. The march hadn't been granted the permission of the Montreal police under the P6 bylaw. The P6 is a City of Montreal bylaw that prohibits any group of 50 or more from marching or other peaceful activities without the permission of the Montreal police. Its constitutionality has been questioned by the Quebec Bar Association, the British Columbia Civil Liberties Association, and the Canadian Association of Civil Liberties. Yet its use is ongoing. This bylaw has been used repeatedly to unleash hundreds of heavily armed police who use chemical gas, pepper spray, plastic bullets, and high levels of physical violence to detain hundreds of people for up to 10 hours, standing in very close physical conditions with no food, water, or access to toilets. Even Canadian forces taking prisoners of war on a foreign battlefield would have to provide these basic rights by law. There is a multi-level federal government involvement, including the armed forces, and this model can be used in other jurisdictions. Across Canada, we have seen the militarization of police forces. They're acquiring military weapons, armored vehicles, and their adoption of aggressive tactics in the way they perform their jobs. This is coupled with the security services being refocused on internal dissent, as we saw at the G20 in Toronto. This has included widespread police intimidation of the media, both alternative and mainstream. The effects of this militarization doesn't stop with the brutal treatment of activists. It can be seen in the day-to-day conduct of police in Montreal, given the spectacular amount of questionable incidents they are involved in. Incredibly, no matter how grave the offense, no appropriate action has been taken. While police and security services boast of their multi-level integration, Stephen Harper has just ordered the Government Operations Centre to monitor all protests Canada-wide. The social tension caused by controversial pipelines, austerity measures, veterans issues, and native justice concerns makes this highly relevant, as ordinary citizens who stand up for their rights will now be more closely monitored than ever before. Commander, will there be police from other jurisdictions here this year like there was last year? Like SQ, last year there was Gatineau Police, Toronto Police, SQ, will it?
We're talking about Gatineau and Toronto. It was a different approach. What that was exactly, it's a learning experience for them. They were here to see what was going on and to see how we were interacting, because we got to admit that last year, what we've been living through, it was an experience. It was different. No police services in North America have been living that. So that's the reason why they were here. It's not a hung mentees that we got. It's not people getting here to help us out. They were there as a learning experience.
The whole purpose of that is just to make sure that we're not working by ourselves without knowing what's going on for our neighbors, for instance. Yes, you're talking about Montreal. Montreal is an island, but you got Longueuil, you got Laval, you got the Quebec instance, and the national one. So,
how integrated is the RCMP with CSIS?
We do collaborate on a day-to-day basis so that we can continue to collaborate effectively. We do have, under the Security Offences Act, the RCMP has basically primacy over all national security criminal investigations. So when a police of a local jurisdiction investigates or is able to establish that what they're investigating is violence, in relation to either a political, ideological, or religious motive, okay, that would fall within the CSIS definition of a national security threat. That is one that the RCMP-led integrated units, the INSETs that you referred to, would step in. That being said, the INSET on its own, it is integrated. It is integrated because we have police forces of local jurisdictions that are on board. That's why the word integrated exists there. So this is done in a very seamless way.
Between the massive police operations, court administration, and the prosecution, the cost to the taxpayer is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. But the cost to our society could be immeasurable and leave us all in a country few would feel at home in.
Fucking justice right here.
This is William Ray for CUTV News.